She fell in love with someone else while I was still fighting for us. And now, all I can say is, it is what it is. My name is Marcus, I'm 38. Until recently, I was married to a woman I thought I knew. Thought I would grow old with. Her name is Claire, she's 37. A pediatric nurse and the kind of person who once cried watching dog food commercials. The kind of person who used to send me voice notes on her lunch breaks just to say, I miss you. We met 8 years ago at a wedding. I was the best man, she was a bridesmaid. She hated her heels and kicked them off under the table. I thought she was beautiful in a chaotic, real-world way. Lipstick smudged, laughing too loud. She said I looked like someone who apologized too much. Maybe I did. We started dating, fell in love fast, moved in after a year, married after 3. It wasn't perfect, what marriage ever is, but we had inside jokes, Sunday routines, a shared grocery list on the fridge. We wanted kids. She named the first one in her head. I painted the spare room. But if I'm honest, really honest, there were signs, not neon red flashing ones, just soft, quiet shifts. Claire started staying later at work. Nothing suspicious on the surface. She's a nurse, 12-hour shifts are normal. But the way she talked about those days changed. Where she used to vent about patients, long meetings, hospital drama, she just stopped sharing. She'd come home tired and quiet, brushing me off with, I'm just drained, babe. Her phone habits changed too. Not drastically, but enough. She started charging it overnight in the kitchen instead of on her nightstand, turned her screen face down during dinner, turned off message previews. Nothing I could confront outright, just enough to make me feel silly for even noticing. And she laughed at things I didn't say, tiny smiles at her screen, inside jokes that weren't mine. It stung, but I didn't press. Maybe the most painful shift was the way she stopped noticing me. Claire was always someone who saw the details, new shirts, bad haircuts, the way I fidget when I'm stressed. She used to brush her hand across my cheek and say, you're still my favorite person. But slowly those little affections disappeared. We still had dinner, still folded laundry, still said I love you before bed, but it was like living next to someone who had already packed a bag and mentally moved out. I'd bring it up, gently. I feel like you're far away lately. She'd sigh. I'm just exhausted. It's not you. And maybe that was true, but it also wasn't enough. We stopped fighting too. That sounds like a good thing, but it wasn't. When we disagreed, she'd shut down. Instead of arguing, she'd say, I don't want to do this right now, and walk away, not mad, just numb. I was carrying the relationship alone, and I didn't even realize how heavy it was getting until I saw her hands already letting go. 7 months ago, that all changed. She asked to talk after dinner. Her voice soft, like a nurse about to deliver bad news. I knew something was wrong. She never said, can we talk? Unless she rehearsed it first. We sat in the living room. The TV was on mute. My plate still had half a chicken thigh on it. Then she said it. I love you, but I'm not in love with you. My stomach sank. I thought I misheard her. She went on, talked about how she felt invisible, unseen, that I didn't make her feel desired anymore, that she didn't feel loved. It was like watching someone throw a match onto your favorite photograph. I think we should separate, she said, looking at the floor. I need time to think. I froze. Everything in me wanted to say, what are you talking about? We're fine. You're just stressed. But something in her eyes told me this wasn't sudden. She had been building this speech for months. I asked her if there was someone else. She shook her head too fast, said no. This is about us, not someone else. So, like a fool, I believed her. I agreed to counseling. I tried harder. I bought flowers, made dinner, talked about going on a trip, just the two of us. We went to one counseling session. She said all the right things, but her eyes never really looked at me, like she was watching a memory, not a person. And then I found the text messages, not even hidden well. She was getting lazy. His name was Jason, married, 2 kids, a father at the clinic she worked at. One message, can't stop thinking about last night. You're unreal. Another, he has no idea. I feel guilty, but I'm happier than I've been in years. I didn't scream. I didn't throw anything. I just stared at the screen, and felt something inside me shut off like a switch. When I confronted her, she cried hard, but not because she was sorry. She cried because she got caught. That night she left, packed a small bag and drove to a friend's place, said she needed space. What she really meant was, I want to sleep beside someone else without guilt. And she did. For the next few months, while I tried to figure out how to sleep in a bed that still smelled like her, she played pretend house with a man who wore a ring too. Friends told me they saw her out with him, that they didn't even try to hide it. Dinner dates, holding hands in Target, a weekend trip to Asheville. Meanwhile, I was drowning in legal paperwork, divorce filings, bank accounts, joint insurance. I started sleeping on the couch. Every room felt like a punch to the chest. The worst part? I wasn't even angry at first. I was just numb. I blamed myself. Was I not present enough? Did I forget the little things? Did I stop telling her she was beautiful? Therapy helped. Barely. Then came the rage. I remember punching the steering wheel after seeing her tagged in a Facebook post, holding hands with Jason at a pumpkin patch. She was smiling in that photo. She hadn't smiled like that in months when she lived with me. And it wasn't the betrayal that stung the most. It was the fact that she had rewritten our entire story without even asking me to edit. And now, 7 months later, we're in court. The courtroom was quiet, cold, and clinical. She wore a navy blue dress and no wedding ring. Her lawyer did most of the talking. Mine just nodded and took notes. Property division, retirement funds. Who gets the dining table we never used? At one point, she looked over at me, teary-eyed. Her face said, I miss you, but her actions said, I replaced you. I remained stoic. No anger, no tears, just silence. Because at this point, what was there left to say? After the hearing, as we walked out into the hallway, she turned to me. How are you feeling about all this? She asked quietly. I looked at her for a second. At the woman I once wanted to grow old with. At the only person who ever knew my childhood nickname. At the person who promised me forever and traded it for stolen hours in a stranger's apartment. And I said the only thing I had left. It is what it is. She blinked, like she expected more. Maybe even wanted me to cry, but I had already cried everything I had weeks ago. Now, I just wanted to be free. Today, I went home, alone. For the first time, it didn't feel like a punishment. I ordered my favorite takeout, sat on the floor, watched dumb action movies, laughed. Not because it was funny, but because I could. And when I looked around the apartment, I finally didn't see her in every corner. I saw me. I'm not saying I'm healed. I'm not saying the pain is gone, but I am on the other side of something brutal. And I'm still standing. I'll always remember Claire as my first great love, but also the woman who taught me what betrayal sounds like behind soft words. She may never fully understand what she did to me, how it hollowed me out, how it made me question my worth, how it forced me to learn how to rebuild alone. But that's okay, because I know now I was never the one who gave up. I stayed, I tried, I told the truth, and when it all fell apart, I walked away without burning the bridge. But I made damn sure I wouldn't build it again. It is what it is. And now finally, it's over. And I'm free.